Okay, hello. My name is Jeremy Negre, and I'm the Director of Customer Education here at PartsSource, and I would like to welcome everyone to the PartsSource Executive Webinar Series. Today's presentation is entitled Streamlining Order Management Through New PartsSource Digital Workflows, presented by Nelson Bowers. Before we begin, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items. First, you have a control panel at the side of your screen. You can minimize and expand this panel. Second, you can submit questions using the question portion of the control panel. We will answer questions at the end of the presentation. If your question was not answered, we will respond to you individually after the event. All registrants will receive an email after the webinar with access to the slides from today and additional information. And now, please allow me to introduce Nelson Bowers. Nelson joined PartsSource in March 2019 to lead the strategy for building an expanded portfolio of supplier tools and technology on the PartsSource platform with the goal of ensuring PartsSource is the channel of choice for all healthcare medical equipment, parts, and service suppliers. Nelson brings over 15 years of experience working in data and technology-focused roles in companies, most recently with Uptake, a global leader in applying artificial intelligence technologies in industries such as healthcare. Nelson earned his MBA from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business and his Bachelor's of Science in Engineering from the University of Michigan. And now I'd like to pass it over to Nelson to continue today's presentation.
Great, thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. All right, thanks everyone for joining. Really excited to talk today about some of the new tools that we're rolling out. And so first, I'm going to just walk through the high-level agenda. I'm going to talk to you about some of the new performance analytics and other tools and resources that we rolled out to get started. But then the majority of the time will be spent discussing our new digital order management workflows to handle orders, bids, and repairs. What's really important to note at this point is that for any suppliers who are currently using our eParts vendor portal, that site will be going away at the end of this week. And so that all orders will be, if you were using eParts vendor, you'll now have to switch into our supplier portal. But I'll talk more about what specifically that means once we get further on here. And then we'll have some Q&A. So just really quickly, this is the supplier portal that PartsSource is making available to our suppliers with the goal of providing our suppliers access to analytics to help you improve your performance, the order management tools that we've discussed, as well as other tools and resources with the goal of making it as easy as possible to do business with PartsSource and to help you improve how your products and services are represented in the PartsSource marketplace. As I mentioned, we have our performance analytics capability, which has been out for about 1.5 years now, but we continue to add new capabilities to our analytics. We have new scoring methods. We have new metrics around catalog photos and other metrics that the idea is that we want to orient these analytics to what is most powerful to our end customers' experience as they push us harder and harder to provide that great digital experience when they purchase products and services with us. We also have a lot of new resources available, and this constitutes a number of videos and playbooks or user guides to help you understand how to better stand out in our marketplace and to improve how you display in our portal. For example, we have a catalog playbook, which has a lot of information about how to provide your product content and photos in the best way, so that when a customer comes to buy from us, they know exactly what they're buying. They have all the details about the product necessary, all the specifications and things like that. That's a really important part of the experience, and that's what this new resources makes available. That I'll show you when we get into the demo here. And then probably the biggest new feature we're rolling out is our digital order management. This is really the idea that we can help make the experience of working with us easier. Historically, PartsSource has relied primarily on email and phone calls to get updates from suppliers. And we have found that it can really simplify our suppliers' lives if they have a system that they can access to see all of the orders that are open with them, where you can quickly access the purchase order documents, packing slips, as well as to provide updates on those orders and understand and to be able to see, basically the same information that our team is seeing when they're reaching out for updates. And I think that this is especially relevant in today's day and age, where supply chain issues are quite commonplace, unfortunately, and staffing shortages are common. We want to optimize the time that you're spending on PartsSource orders. So cutting back on the back and forth email and phone calls is absolutely a goal of ours with this. With the order management, we want to support the entire order workflow. So it starts with the bidding process. So PartsSource sells a majority of our products through our e-commerce catalog, and which many of you participate in. But there are items that we have to manually source depending on the situation. And so if you are a vendor or a supplier who receives those emails or phone calls about requesting a price for a specific part, you can actually see those through our supplier portal to respond to those bids and submit a quote. Certainly there's the orders that we'll talk about, but if you're a depot repair vendor, we also have the ability to see your entire depot repair workflow and what's open and waiting for you. And then finally, if there is an exchange, if a part was sold on exchange or there was a return, we allow you to see the status of those items and when they can be expected to be received back at your facility. So from there, I'm going to jump into a demo of these capabilities. So if you give me one moment here. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. I'm come down with something, but don't worry, we're all virtual. So, all right, one moment here. All right, so the first screen we're looking at here is our performance analytics, and I'm using a mocked up demo supplier here who actually has a lot of sales with us, where you can see we're trying to provide a lot of insight. Again, just to go back to what I was referring to earlier, we're trying to give a lot of insight to our suppliers to help you optimize your performance with us, and that includes information about your sales performance, how many open orders you have with us. What's your quality return rate as a supplier? Digital connectivity is something that's become more and more important with us, with our customers and our suppliers, to help automate the flow of information on orders and invoices and things like that. We also have for all of the parts business, we look at things that we have a new supplier scorecard that we're rolling out. A new supplier scoring system that we're rolling out. We score the catalog quality of the photos that you provide us that we load into PartsSource.com. And then we also have shipping metrics to look at. If you sell a depot with us, or if you do on-demand service with us, you also can have some insight into your performance in those areas as well. This supplier does not. There's a lot here that if for each of you who have access to the portal, there's a lot that you can click into to see more details on each of these pages here. So if you click in, you can get access to the additional insights underneath. It'll give you more line item details here about what's being returned and why. Moving on, I mentioned the new resources that we've made available. When you click on the PartsSource page, or when you log in for the first time, you're taken to this welcome page here. And on the welcome page is first an overview of PartsSource and our marketplace, and who are our customers, and what's the value of working with PartsSource. And for example, you can instantly reach and connect with over 120,000 customers on our platform. We have videos on here to help provide that overview as well. And then throughout, we have different pages here that are available to explain more about what you can sell with us, what we make available with insights. We also have, I'll just jump to this help page here, which there's a handful of other videos that give a full walkthrough experience of the Supplier Portal and all the capabilities here, as well as I mentioned, we have playbooks and resources here available to help if at some point you're not clear about how to use the site. So that's all available to users, but from here I'm going to jump into the actual demo of the capabilities. So first we're going to start with the bids process, which is relatively straightforward. As I mentioned, sometimes we receive a request for a part that we don't have in our PartsSource.com catalog, and so we will send that out, and it's available as a bid. We may have called you historically, but these bids can be displayed here, and you can simply click to enter the bid. You see all the information about the request. You can start the bid. You go through the process of saying what kind of condition is your part in that you're selling. What's the price? We'll say it's $100 here. What's the warranty you're offering on that? Cosmetic rating. What's the lead time in days? What's the weight of the item? And then whether there's a loaner available. And you hit continue, and it takes you to if there's any attachments, any photos you have of the item, and then from there you can click submit bid, and then that bid is submitted, and our team will respond to that with the for the order. Moving to the next page here, this is where you can see and manage all of your open orders. One of the things that for the suppliers who we've gotten onto the site so far have really appreciated is the ability to see all of their open orders in one place, as opposed to having to manage all of the emails that go back and forth. It also, it helps make sure that you're on the same page with what our team is seeing. I know that, with so many hundreds or thousands of orders that are being placed and managed, things fall through the cracks sometimes, and it's helpful to be able to see it in one place. From here, you can see the details about the order. You can also print documents for the order, so the purchase order, packing slip. And then what you'll see up here is we have multiple tabs laid out: awaiting review, pending shipment, shipped, and delivered. What's really important here to understand is that we've taken, for every open order that has not shipped, we've broken into one of two categories. Awaiting review is an order for which our team is looking for an update of some sort. Either it's a new order, it needs to be confirmed, or the estimated ship date that was provided is out of date, or something like that. And so when that order is open in a waiting review, it'll be on this page. Once you've provided that information and updated the order, it will move into this pending shipment tab as kind of a way of saying, like, okay, it's already taken care of. It may not ship for a week, but it's kind of like out of sight for now. So we're trying to help focus in on the orders that need attention in this way. And so what you do is, if if I'm looking at this order right here, and this one was actually, this data is from a few months ago, but it was expected to ship October 15th, I can click process. This order already has a tracking number, so I don't need to do anything with that. I'm going to update the estimated ship date to be, we'll say this is going to ship on Friday. We have a reason field here, and this is to provide our team with some insight into what's the status, or if an order is being delayed, why is it being delayed? And the most common to be selected would be the back order field. If you have a part that always takes a week to assemble or put together, selecting the lead time is certainly an appropriate response to choose. And so for this one, I'll say it was back ordered, and then I will this vendor details. So providing the vendor order number is a way that is what we use to denote that the order has been seen and received or confirmed by the supplier. And so, if you have your own system on your side, you can enter your number. We also allow you to just, select the PartsSource PO number to put into the vendor order number to tell us that the order has been confirmed. And then you can also enter notes, and these notes are seen by our purchasing team as they're processing orders. Once you do that, I come in, I select OK. And what we'll see is that order will move from our awaiting review page into the pending shipment tab. So this number was 20, now it goes to 19, and that pending shipment went up to 12. So again, trying to move things, trying to help emphasize what's the most important things for you to work on. A couple of things that I wanted to touch base on was there certainly happens where an order comes in to you and you may have a question about the order where like maybe you need a serial number, maybe excuse me, maybe there's a price discrepancy. When those exceptions occur, what we want for you to do is still respond to the PO that was sent to you over email with the issue, and our team will take care of it. As we continue to improve the features and functionality here, we hope to make that more of a user experience driven change that you can make. But for now, it's that's still handled, quote, offline. A couple of the features here that also can be helpful is we have this is what we call a card view. So each line item on the order shows up as a card. You can switch it and you can view the same thing in a table format, which, for those who are expert users or processing many orders, that can be helpful to see it in this way. And you can also select to view not just 10 at a time, but you can say show 50, and it'll really expand the list. The other thing that can be really helpful is we have a search feature here that allows you to, this search feature actually looks at every, it'll search across every field on that line item. So, for example, for this order here, if I wanted to find every item number that was 421359, I can just type 421359, and it'll filter the entire page to just the orders that match that. Or if I wanted to look for all of my Beckman Coulter orders, who's the OEM on this, as you can see, it filtered this only showing Beckman Coulter OEM orders. So it's a really powerful search feature that can help with the navigation. So we have an automated email that goes out every night that some of you may receive that's titled Supplier Orders Awaiting Review. And so when you receive that and you click to log in, this awaiting review page is where it's going to take you. Earlier on, in the intro, I mentioned that EPV or eParts vendor is going away. That's probably the main change for some suppliers. They have been accessing their orders through that nightly email that gets sent. And unfortunately, the old site used to allow you to just click the link and go in and see your orders. But now we have to, just for general security reasons, enforce a login prior to accessing your orders. So that's probably the biggest change there. And certainly we recognize that that's a change, and we want to help, for any suppliers who are having trouble accessing it, let us know. The next page is our repairs. So if you're a depot supplier, or if you do depot repair orders with us, we provide you with this workflow view that shows you all of the open depot repair items that we have with you, and starting from pending shipment, meaning this is an order that's been placed, but the equipment has not yet been sent from the supplier, or I'm sorry, from the customer to you. And so it shows up in this pending shipment view. I'll just quickly run through these other steps here. And then, once it's shipped, it's inbound to you, and you can see that, and you can track the item, and you can see when it's expected to arrive. If it's a flat rate repair, if it's a quoted repair and you need to evaluate it first, you can first, it'll show up in here and evaluate it, and then you submit a quote against that item. Once it's actually in repair, the repairing status, it means you have it and you're working on it. And then from here, it goes to shipped outbound and then delivered to the end customer. So just a couple of features that we allow here is sometimes our customers don't always use the right shipping label to send the item. And so we have the ability here for you to denote that the item was received, even though the tracking information may not say that it was received. So I can click on an item here and hit confirm, and that's going to jump the item it's going to move the item out of the pending shipment and into repaired status. Same thing with the shipped inbound. If for whatever reason the tracking numbers don't denote that the order, that the equipment arrived, you can kind of jump that forward into the repairing status. Within repairing, we try to mirror the process from before for orders, where for any order you have the ability to kind of provide an update. So you can say estimated ship date is, let's say it's next Friday. We have the same reason drop down, but the reasons here are a little bit different. They're a little bit more depot repair centric. So for example, if this item is not going to ship for another week and a half, and it's because I don't have the parts that I need to complete the repair. And then you provide the vendor order number just like before. You can provide attachments and you can enter notes, but I'm going to just save this. Unlike the order management page, we don't have the same break it down between those orders awaiting review and those orders that are already been updated. So it will not move into another status here. But once it's completed and repaired, the tracking number will pick that item up. It'll move it into the shipped outbound and delivered status accordingly. Same thing on these screens. We have the ability to switch it into this table or grid view, and then we also have the search feature here. All right. Final page here, just to keep moving, is our exchanges and returns. As I mentioned, we have the ability here to identify items that are shipped inbound and see the status of those orders. All right. I'm going to stop my screen share for one moment.
Hey, Nelson.
Yeah.
We did have a couple questions about some of the features you were demoing. I don't know.
Oh,
Would you like to address those now when we've got the platform open, or you want to save those for the end?
yeah, let's just do it right now.
Okay. All right. Our first question comes from Neil Howard. And Neil wanted to know, how do we know what you're looking for on awaiting review orders? So Neil, maybe you can unmute and give us a little bit.
I think let me give it a shot, and
Okay.
and we'll see, and then he can reply if that's not the right. So good question. So it's like, so what are you looking for on an order? Generally, we have a little notation here that'll give a indicator of what the update is that's required. So this past due denotes that the estimated ship date is in the past, and since this data here is all older, the past due is the most commonly occurring one. There will be there's a couple other statuses here that'll show up. There's one called a 14-day review. If an order is denoted as back order and there's no estimated ship date provided, we will kind of check in on that every couple of weeks just to make sure that that's still the case, that it's still back ordered. And so because as we've seen this a lot where, you know, at one point you may not know when something's going to ship, and then all of a sudden, you know, overnight we've got inventory and now it's going to ship the next day. And so we just want to, you know, momentarily check in on the status of that. Then the final one is if you don't have that vendor order number provided, like to tell us it's confirmed, there will be a missing information flag there to denote that that we need that information. I think over time, as we learn more from our users about what's helpful and what's not, you know, we can certainly do more to highlight that on the order to make it more clear. But yeah, so this is the best indicator for that at this point.
All right, thanks, Nelson. Neil, if you need further clarification or you have additional questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and I will make sure we get those out to Nelson. We also had a couple of questions coming about POs, Nelson. The first from Kristen Doherty wanted to know, can we download multiple POs at one time?
I don't think we have that feature. That's interesting. I think no, at this point we don't have that feature, but would love to, you know, whether now or at some point, just kind of give us more insight into kind of what your workflow is and how you're processing orders. If that's the case where you're like, I've got 10 new orders, I want to go and print all the POs at the same time, we could definitely get that into the development plan.
Okay, I'll make a note here, Nelson, and maybe we can follow up with Kristen offline and discuss that a little bit more about building the business case for the enhancement. The other question about POs came from Arcelis Nagy. He wanted to know, oops, and I scrolled past it. When we receive a PO that the part number has been discontinued or we're unable to fulfill, is there a place where we can notify you that we are unable to fulfill and that the order has been canceled in our system?
Yeah, you can certainly put that in when you get an order like that, you can put that in the notes here. But it's a good one. That's one of the exceptions that we see, an exception order that when I was talking earlier, we don't have all the capabilities built out for you to cancel an order directly through here. That's still something that our team has to do. So when you get that PO email, still reply to that email to say it was canceled. From within here, do not confirm it. Do not enter a vendor order number here, and you can type into this order, do not have stock, please cancel order. So that can be helpful, but the most important thing to do is reply to that email to say that the order has to be canceled. And again, that's something that in the future I want to make more capabilities available so you can directly denote orders through here as being canceled.
Great. Okay, last question for the moment comes from Jeff Smith. He had some questions about EDI. So first of all, if a company uses EDI to communicate with PartsSource about orders, is this vendor platform relevant to me?
Good question. So all EDI is not created equal. That's kind of what we've experienced, and there are many different types of EDI that can be set up. If you are a supplier that has every EDI capability set up, that you're receiving orders through EDI, you're providing order updates over through EDI, and then you also provide shipping confirmations over EDI, then this platform is probably not going to be as helpful. However, most suppliers that we have on EDI do not have all of those capabilities set up. They may receive orders, they may provide shipping confirmation, but they don't always have everything set up. And so this can be a helpful backup tool to, so for example, if you don't have the ability to provide us with updated ship dates over EDI, this can be a helpful tool to just provide those updates. Like all your orders may be confirmed because you're using EDI, but to provide that, hey, this item is delayed for 2 weeks for whatever back order reasons, you can provide that through here. Because if not, our team is still going to be calling and emailing about those orders. So, but that's a great question, and very, very suppliers dependent.
Thanks, Nelson. The second part of Jeff's question about EDI was, what is the time frame for EDI working with repairs?
I don't have a good answer on that one. The EDI in general does not support the nuances of the depot repair workflow very well, but I know that the team has been working on that. I will certainly check in on that after this to see if we are getting close on that. So yeah, so I don't have a great answer for that one.
Okay. Thanks, Nelson. That's what we've got for now. So keep those questions coming into the Q&A box, and we will get to the rest of them towards the end of the presentation.
And we're just about at the end there. So let me, I just had a couple more slides I was going to quickly run through here. So I share my screen again. So as I mentioned, we have, and I could probably just jump in to show you the screen within the site here, but we are trying to make the process of learning how to use this as easy as possible. We're really not trying to make your job harder, only easier. And so we have a lot of these user guides available, and at the same time, I mean, we have a few team members here who we can get on the phone with you to provide you some more direct guidance if that would be helpful. So yeah, between the videos and user guides and our resources, our people, we can certainly help. So on that, we can jump into some Q&A if there's anything else that we have, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple more coming in. Catherine Aquino wants to know, regarding missed opportunities, how can we be more visible to your sourcing team for both repair and sales? How can we add our products on your catalog? And lastly, will we no longer be receiving RFQs via email? So let's maybe take the first part. How can a supplier be more visible to the sourcing team for repair and sales? And how can they add products to our catalog?
So to be more visible to the sourcing team, I think the second part of the question is the optimal way to approach this, where we get your items added to the catalog, and so that we have a full awareness of all the products and services that you provide. After that, there is, this is very dependent on the specific types of product or service that you provide. It does tend to be the case that if it's something that we do all the time, and we have some suppliers that are very reliable, those are areas that can be harder to break into. But certainly there are other areas that we're looking for suppliers to help fill in gaps. So unfortunately, it is dependent on that, but certainly getting your items added to our catalog would be the first step.
Okay, and then the second part of Catherine's question was, will we no longer be receiving RFQs via email?
You will, if that's how you're currently set up, you will receive those over email. But that's where we're trying to move it to this as much as possible, if that's easier for you. But yeah, the big change that I mentioned up front was just more simply, if you are using the old site to do bids or to update orders, that's the site that's going away, and you're moving to this. If you were purely email based or phone based before, and you prefer that approach, then that's fine. You can continue to respond to orders in that way. I just know that we've had a lot of suppliers who prefer the more digital approach than the one-off emails.
Excellent. Okay, just a couple more, unless we get some more in here. The next couple of questions have to do with sort of the nuts and bolts of getting up and running on the new platform. The first is, can I use a group email account when I set up my user, or do I need individual user accounts?
Sure. So, we've seen this quite a bit, where a supplier will have like that group email account for all the customer service reps. It's really dependent on your situation. If you have 20 people who receive it in order on that email, then I do find that it tends to be better to have the individuals set up so that you have like only a couple people who are more responsible for replying to the PartsSource orders. But I guess best answer is it just depends. We do prefer having individual usernames set up though.
Okay. Second part of that is, if we have more people from the team that we want to get set up on the platform, what do we need to do?
Yeah, so as you can see here, there's this email address, supplier support@partsource.com. You can reach out to that. Also on the login page, when you go to supplier.partsource.com, there's actually let me pull it up here. Moment, please. There's a link where you can request access for your team. So on this page here, you can see there's a not registered link. So you click on this, and it takes you into a form that you can fill out.
Okay. And then last but not least, I think this is the last question I see. I used to have an account for eParts vendor. What will happen now that that's going away? Will my old data transfer over?
Yeah, that's definitely been a big question and concern. So we actually, your old username and password will be the exact same in the new site. All of your old information, all of the orders it's all working on the same database, right? It's the same database that our team works on. It's the same database that was eParts vendor. So everything should all of the open orders from e-parts vendors should also be open and visible within the new portal. So there shouldn't be any concerns there. Again, if you had an account before, your account is automatically already in the new portal for you to log into.
And all data will transfer over?
That's right.
Excellent. Okay. One more question just came in last second. How do I upload? Oh, this is a great one. I know our customers will be excited for this. How do I upload pictures of my product or pictures to my product?
So there's two different ways to upload pictures. So if it's an item that we're going to add to the catalog, so that anytime someone goes to PartsSource.com and they click to view a product, and if it's your product, for those photos, and we'll put you in touch with our catalog team, who will work with you to provide the photos in the required format. If you're providing a quote on a one-off through the bidding feature that we were showing earlier, there is the option to add an attachment at the final stage of before you submit a bid. You can click to add attachment, which can include photos. So it just depends on which whether it's for the catalog or one-off orders, how you do the photos.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I see so far.
Great.
We've got another one here. Mike, I got your question here about being a part supplier, but having no access to bids. We'll follow up with you offline with that one. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you, Nelson, for your time today. Hope you're feeling a little bit better. Thanks to everybody for attending and for your time today, for joining us. As a reminder, you'll receive a follow-up email that includes this presentation and additional information in the next couple of days. If you have additional questions or think of something after the webinar, or you're interested in learning more, please feel free to reach out to our supplier support team at supplier_support@partsource.com. And as of now, the webcast is over. Thanks for attending and have a wonderful day.